Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Lifetime Trading Podcast. And today we are going to talk with Miss Katrina Ellensohn. And she has been in the industry for 14, 15 years now, a mother of two boys, and it just has an amazing, amazing story, starting from where she started all the way through to joining us at Lifetime. And what we're going to talk about today, too, is how you can have access to her virtually. It doesn't matter where you're at. So I'd love to welcome you to the show, Katrina.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, you have an amazing story and I know you love telling it. So I want to, start from the bottom, man, start where it all started and how you've kind of grown and worked through this pandemic and really have come out ahead.
So, just to start from the beginning, I was raised with my two sisters, in Illinois, in Peoria, Illinois, and it wasn't the best place. I mean, it's the hood. Like, we were raised in the hood, and, we had to work and fight for everything that we had. And, but I love that, it was the struggle. The struggle teaches you a lot. So, we just bonded a lot together through that because we had been through so much together. But yeah, it was rough times. I mean, we didn't have a lot. We didn't have a lot of money or anything. My dad was always crazy off into doing what he was doing, which he's a crazy man. So we all have that little streak in us. But then my mom is like an angel. She's so sweet and she's good person. So we all have that too. So yeah, and we always had love in the house. It was always so comfortable and unconditional love. I mean, they did a great job parenting. So that was my beginning. And
well, it's I'm from Illinois as well, man, and I had a musician as a father and was on Epic Records, and so we saw some stuff, and I think that builds a lot of character and who we are today, and the things that we love, and the things that we've migrated towards. I know a lot, from my perspective, why I went into health and fitness was because of some of the things that I experienced and I didn't want for me. But that's who we are, man. And I don't regret it at all. I mean, I love him for that.
I know, exactly. Yeah. Kind of my dad too. He was a musician, and, like, he always had blasting loud rock and roll, crazy, heavy metal music going on. He was a drummer. He's so awesome. I mean, the coolest dude ever. And my mom, actually, before she met him, she was going to be a nun. And so that mix is just, I can't even explain it. It's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, my sisters and I don't know, that's where we came from. And it was a good place.
Awesome. Well, so how did that end up as you grew, and then you started to get into fitness and talk to me about how that whole thing really started to happen, because, my dad never worked out. He played some racquetball here and there, but he didn't really work out much.
Yeah, right. I know. I don't think musicians did at all, did they? My dad didn't either. My mom did a little bit, but I don't know. I just got into fitness. I started loving like everything to do with healthy foods, and I would start running. We had a park that wasn't too far away from us, and I would just jog up there, run, do a few laps, do sit-ups. I had no idea what I was doing, but I'd always have my water. After school, we would always have our after school snacks, and my sisters would always have like chips and candy and, just the regular junk food that young kids have. And I would always want to go to the store, or I would have, I would thaw out some chicken and just have chicken breasts and hot sauce. So I always just wanted to eat healthy. It was so weird. We had a garden actually in the back of our house, and I would stay out there all summer long. I would weed it. I would, be out there and eating all the fruits and vegetables, which I don't know. It's just, I was so different from everybody else. I mean, this was before fitness was even trending or anything,
Yeah, but that's it. It goes back to that grit, right? I'm going to work for this food, and I'm going to make this food, and I'm going to foster this, and then I'm going to eat it. So there's a lot to be said. Well, obviously, you started to get the eating down right, and now we wanted to take it to the next level. So, what made you, you had said that some of the things you were doing fitness wise, you didn't know, you were just kind of doing what you knew, but then obviously you wanted to take it to the next level. So what got you into, now getting into group exercise?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, just eating right and drinking my water, my body started changing, and I liked that. And, I was faster than my peers, and I felt better, and I had more energy. And I was just like, man, I love this. And it feels so good to be fit. And so I started watching little YouTube, I mean, whatever it was called back then, but like little videos. I think it was Billy Blank. And I
Yeah.
used to, the boxing. And
Tybo.
yes, Tybo, double time, triple time, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I started getting into that, and then my body started changing more and more. And then when I was of the age, I had a job at Baskin Robbins, and I would just eat and eat and eat ice cream. And I could tell my energy levels were going down. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. So I went back to really great eating, and I never wanted a job in that type of field ever again. So I got into the Y, and I started teaching gymnastics a little bit. And then one of the group fitness instructors started asking me like, hey, would you ever want to teach a class? I'm like, there's no way I could never do this. I could never do this. But I'm like, this is what I would so want to do. And so I got certified through group fitness. And I mean, that was a huge textbook that I bought. And I read that thing until it literally fell apart. Like I knew verbatim, word for word in that book. And I mean, that was my start.
So what
I
did
got
you,
certified.
so then what did you start to teach?
I taught Zumba at first.
That a girl.
And that's not so much on my level. I mean, I love it, but Latin flair isn't like exactly, but I'm from the hood. So I always loved street dancing. I loved the hip hop. And so I went from, I taught Zumba, but I would teach all like hip hop classes. And then they're like, hey, look, like, they're like,
yeah, the Zumba police came out because they're pretty tight with the Zumba police.
Were there, they were present. They're like, look, this is not what we do. Okay. Yeah. So I just got out of that and I called it my own. And so I started making up choreography and picking my own dances and my own music. And I loved it so much. And I just used to jam out. That's and it awesome. Got my heart rate up so high. Yeah. And so I started sharing it with other people. And I mean, they just loved it. And this was before Lifetime, but
yeah.
They loved it.
So that's a great segue of, so obviously you started doing this and you started teaching and loving it and bringing that into the lifestyle as you're learning and you're impacting, hundreds of people. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about group is that you're in front of so many people. I taught spin class in the beginning and, it was, God, I got a ton of clients when I trained full time, that was how I got them. So it was great. But so how did you went from the Y? Now, are you still in Illinois at this time or are you now moved?
Yep. Yep. In Illinois, I worked there and then we moved to Davenport. And so, I got a job there at the Y downtown. And so, cause
I spent some time there. I went to college at Augustana. So I spent plenty of time at America's Pub.
Shenanigans. Yeah. So I worked at the Y there and my husband actually was working the front desk and that's how I met him. And so, I taught dance there and I taught a bunch of different classes. Got it. And then I started training a little bit. So
that's when you got certified. That's when
I got certified with training. Okay. Yeah. Actually the fitness head director was like, hey, I can pick 2 people who can get a nationally recognized certification. Do you want to go? And it was like $750 at that time. Yep. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was so expensive for me back then. And I'm like, yes, please sign me up. And so she signed me up. And I mean,
that's great.
I studied that book. And again, there was another book that was just falling apart because of how many times I turned the pages. I just went off on it.
That's great. And that's similar, again, we got a lot of similar upbringing and stories. And I was working the floor. I was playing basketball in college and, wanted to get a job at a club because they had a basketball court and they hosted the NASM live cert back then when they did it in Chicago. And that's how I got certified, when I was in college as well. So, so now you're teaching group and now you're starting to train a little bit at the Y. And then how did you leave Davenport, obviously then end up in Des Moines and end up with Lifetime?
So my husband, he wanted to go to chiropractic school.
Oh, nice.
So Yes.
He didn't want to go to Palmer?
He went to Palmer.
Oh, he did. Awesome. Okay.
We were right there. So he went to Palmer and I stayed, and he kept at the front desk, and I stayed being a trainer at the Y. And he got through school, graduated, and then we wanted to stay because we would stay around my family, right? We wanted to stay in Davenport, but then it was so saturated with chiropractors there. I mean, it was crazy, one on every single
I
corner.
mean, that's one of the biggest, best in the country is Palmer. Yeah.
Exactly.
I saw Hootie at the Blowfish there too, by the way. Showing my age just a little bit when,
I know,
when
right?
Hootie was doing little
I saw.
chiropractic colleges.
Oh my gosh, I know. Sometimes you just got to be quiet. Don't share it. Yeah, but so anyways, we were going to stay there, and then we're like, no, I mean, I want to stay with my family, but I was like, we can't make it here. There's no way, you know, especially starting from scratch. So my husband was like, well, his family is on the other side of Iowa, and my family was right here. And Kyle's like, my husband Kyle, he's like, let's just go in the middle, and then, you know, it'd be easy for them to get to us. So we came to Des Moines. So we came to Des Moines, we moved, we opened an office, and we had a baby all in the same month.
Oh man.
So that was really hard. I mean, that was really, really hard. And financially, I mean, we were
I could imagine.
broke. We were so broke. But again, I'm used to being broke. I was cool with it.
Yeah.
I was happy, but he was not. But it was hard times. But I mean, our marriage had never been more strong. So
that's great.
Yeah, I know.
And
right?
you got introduced to Sean Severson.
Yes, I did. So that is a win. That is a W.
Yeah.
So we kept like driving past this Lifetime. I mean, I had never been to a Lifetime. I didn't even know what it was. And my husband's like, they're breaking ground there, and it's going to be a gym. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then we saw the plan for it, and I'm like, this is where I want to work. This is where I want to work. But I had to be careful though, because I had babies, you know, like I didn't want to put them in childcare. So I was like, okay, well, I think that let me just be a trainer there, you know? So I go in, I get a job, and he says that it's full-time. And I'm like, okay, I can't do full-time. Like, I do not want to put my babies in childcare. So he's like, all right, we'll put you into group fitness. So I got myself a job. Nice. And I got in group fitness, and I was hired. So, I mean, that's when the trailer was up. So yeah, we were waiting on.
Beautiful.
It was awesome.
And so that was, God, now what? You've been there for how long now?
7 years.
Got it. And so now, you know, what are some of those things that, you know, the other little milestones that you've kind of accomplished? I know I think you did a bikini competition, and you got your pro card. So talk to me about that. I mean, because that's a dedication, especially if you got some kids, and you know, gosh. I wouldn't want to be your husband during certain times.
It was the hardest thing I had ever done in my life. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life, but the coolest. You know, I kind of wanted to do, well, I would be working out and people would come up to me and be like, what are you training for? Or like, have you ever done bikini competition? And I'm like, stop, you're getting in my head. Like, stop it, you know? But I was like, maybe I should. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, what hurt could it do? You know, like, I want to learn this. I want to learn further into nutrition. I want to learn how to transform your body completely down to that, like science, down to the nitty gritty science. Yes. So, and I was like, what, it's just going to help my clients. And I didn't want to tell my clients to do anything that I couldn't do. So I was like, okay, sign me up. Let's do a bikini competition. And I only wanted to do one, but signed up. Hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. I mean, I love food ever since I was little. I'm just a little piggy. Like, my mom used to call me a little piggy monster. I mean, just constantly eating.
Hence why you started to eat the good food. Yes, see, that's where it comes from.
I would have gotten myself in huge trouble. I had to eat good. Yeah. So, so did the bikini competition, didn't cheat at all, came up in every single category. Number one. I just
on your first show?
On my first show. I just could not believe it. And honestly, like, throughout the whole show, I was just like, ugh, get me out. Okay, I did it. Get me the out of here. I want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. And then I heard my name being called, and I'm like, first place? Like, first, oh my gosh. And then I go out there, I get first place. And then they call me again for first place. And then another category first place. And then another. And then my pro card. And I'm like, Oh my gosh, just like my husband was
Congrats.
crying,
I can
like just
imagine.
bawling his eyes out. So, I mean, not really, but like
Yeah.
it was just crazy. So, yeah,
Wait,
it
wait, yeah,
taught me a
wait,
lot. That taught me a lot.
for sure. I mean, there's the amount of dedication that goes into that, and just mental anguish and toughness is fantastic. But again, I want to attribute that back to, some of the stuff that you had to deal with as you grow up, man.
You know
That's
about
all right
that?
there.
You
Now,
know that?
did you now obviously it's a huge thing to be able to do that. Did you do it on your own, or did you have a coach, or
Oh,
did
I had
someone
a
help you?
coach. I had
You
a
did.
coach. Yep,
Yeah.
she was one of the group fitness instructors at Lifetime, and she still is.
Okay.
Katie Bishop
Yeah.
with Guns N' Roses.
Because it's,
It's so good.
it's really important, because I think sometimes to the general population that's listening out there, we try to go at it alone, and in certain times you need, even coaches need coaches, and that's how they go from, being average to being elite.
Totally. Totally. Yep,
Got
and it's true. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it. There's no way.
got it. And so now you're inspiring people through your group exercise, and then you're teaching your one-on-ones, and all of a sudden the pandemic hits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk me through what, in the beginning, what was going through your mind, and then, what made you click, and then tell the story about what happened after.
Okay. Well, when the pandemic hit, first of all, I just could not believe it for real. Like it was a dream. Still is a dream. But I was at home with my boys. So I was really happy. I mean, I'm glad that I got to spend some time with them. But so all of my clients, like just done, we're done. I'm like, what? Oh, this is so weird. So I started writing out workouts for them, and I would just send them out for free. I don't care. Like those are my loves, my
Yep.
clients. I
Stay
don't.
connected.
Yes, for sure. So I would send them videos, I would send them workouts, and I just wanted them to keep up what we had worked on, because most of them that had really changed their bodies, and I did not want them to take a spill. And so I did that, and then I'm like, you know what? I I'm just gonna get a little workout that I do at my home. I'm just gonna videotape it. So I videotaped it, and I put it on and I actually videotaped it through TikTok.
Okay.
And so that I could like categorize it and make it easy for people to be able to do. And I just posted it on Instagram. And then so I did an upper body, and then I did a lower body, and I was using like jugs, milk jugs, just stupid stuff like Tide bottles, and
Yeah.
I think I used like a watermelon or something like that. But I mean, I literally didn't even I didn't myself didn't even have any dumbbells or anything.
Yeah.
So
You couldn't find them either.
I
or,
know, right?
or
You couldn't. No way. Maybe that time I would be able to, but then like
yeah.
2 weeks after that,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So I was just using random stuff, and I put it on Instagram, and I put some on I just uploaded them on TikTok, and like that was where I started my TikTok. But I just posted them so that I could post them on
So,
Instagram.
so was that just like, did you have a TikTok account prior to that, or did you say,
I
okay,
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I did, because my son was always on it, and I'm
yeah,
like,
what's going on here?
what is he doing? What is he watching?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like, give me that. Let me see what that is.
There's no lie in there either. Like what comes up is what you're watching, right?
I know exactly, exactly. So I was like, let me download this app. So I did right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
I downloaded the app, and I'm like, I'm scrolling through, I'm like, this boy better not be watching you. And I keep scrolling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Kian, I'm asking my son, is this what it is? And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's just skits and funny stuff. I'm like, I was on the ground rolling, like dying. I'm like, this is so me. Like, this is so my level of comedy and my level of immaturity and just goofy, silly, stupid stuff. So I was just laughing so hard. So I didn't think anything of it. I started homeschooling the boys and doing what I was supposed to do through the pandemic. And then when they would take breaks, I would go and I'd get on TikTok, and I started making videos, and then people just loved them. I'm like, what is this? Like, that's so funny. People are just loving it up, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're getting me through the pandemic. I laughed so hard at you. You are so funny. I don't know, blah, 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 whatever. And so I'm like, don't hype me up, because now I'm going to post more and more and more. and more so
That dopamine hit just
I
started.
know, right? And then, yeah, and then I started getting paid for them. I'm like, all right, done.
So wait, because there's a lot there. So you started it right before or right after the pandemic?
I started it
Right before, and
I
obviously
I
didn't.
no, I downloaded it before. I think I posted one video just
Yeah.
like to post it.
Uh-huh.
And then I didn't get on it all until the pandemic hit.
And
Then
then
after I was homeschooling the boys.
got it. So then from the time pandemic to today, what's your reach now?
What do you mean?
Like how many followers? How many
Oh, 350,000.
ha, come
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
and you just consistently posting every day.
Yep, I did. I mean, some days I don't have time to post, other
Yeah.
days I do.
Yeah.
Some days I have, like it literally just takes me a little bit to post,
Yeah.
so because it comes so natural.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's just funny, goofy, immature stuff. Like I
Love
said,
it. Love
I
it.
just
So
didn't throw it.
and now obviously it's got a fitness twist to a lot of the stuff that you're doing now, right?
I started, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I was just doing like kind of mom jokes, like
Mhm.
goofy mom jokes, just being me. I mean, like my sisters started following me and they're like, Katrina, oh my gosh, like I so look forward to your videos because it reminds me of when we used to live together. And they're like, it just makes me miss you so much. So it's just me, it's just my
Yeah.
personality, goofy self.
But
And
but it's so important because especially during that time, there's some people that went deep down the
yeah,
wrong tunnel, and then there's things like this that, albeit goofy, it's therapeutic, it's mental health, and it's helping
got it.
you as much as it's helping the people that end up liking it and watching it. So and I need to go off on a tangent here in a second, because there's a lot of people, especially in our profession, that and I'm somewhat one of them at times, where it's just like, man, I know this, I've been at this game for I don't know how long, and this person's doing what, making what on TikTok. But it's not like you're somebody that didn't take the time to learn. You were group X, and then you were a trainer. So it's the knowledge base. And then how do I get to this type of following and this type of reach? Because at the end of the day, you're reaching more people than the person who's in the club, doing 10 sessions, 15 sessions a week with the same 2 or 3, 4 or 5 members.
Yeah.
You're reaching 300,000 people. And that is worth something, whether it's with a stupid joke that you think is stupid, but it makes somebody laugh. It's
Yeah.
helping their well-being. And I think now more than ever, people need to work on their well-being. That's health, that's fitness, that's mental health, that's happiness. It's all of those things. And obviously when you laugh, there's no better endorphin than when you laugh.
Yep.
So hats off to you, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think like when I saw people start saying that in the comments, like, you're the reason why I got through this pandemic, like it really was special. And I mean, it helped me just as much as that helped them. Like, it was just so fun. It's
Love it.
fun.
So now we're present day, and now that you're working with us and Lifetime to create this amazing ability to get you online. It doesn't matter where you're at. You can be in Iowa, you can be in Hawaii, it doesn't matter. And we're starting to build this online programming that is, full access to you and your programming. So tell me about, how did this come about? And, we can get into some of the kind of who's it for and why would they want to, follow it?
Yeah. So like with my following, when I started back at work, I put the boys back in school after about a year that I homeschool, put them back in school. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready back for work, excited for work. I mean, I've always loved Lifetime so much, but I was ready to go back. And so I came back and I started taking all my one-on-ones and my classes. And, I kept posting on TikTok and, funny, goofy stuff, but it was really only funny, goofy. There wasn't a lot of workout. So then Lifetime got a hold of how many followers I had. They're like, let's start, you should start training people. You kind of threw myself into this. And so I started on TikTok and I started posting like workout stuff. And then I realized, well, that's not really the people who are following me, because through this whole year, it's been people who just like my mom jokes and my goofy self. And so I'm starting to take it from that niche to, more of a workout niche, whatever you call it. So whatever it's called. But I'm trying to transfer over a little bit more here and there, so that I can take people. And it's so cool. Like I could take anybody from.
And what's been the response? Like, what's been the response of, you posting that kind of content and the people that are reaching out?
I actually, when I first thought about doing the virtual, I posted something and it went viral. But I learned quickly that my people are like younger people, on TikTok, who just think I'm a funny mom.
Uh-huh.
And so they have a hard time affording it or whatever, they kind of just wanted me to give them, tips and tricks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've kind of just been doing that more so. But as I turn my videos into more fitness, I'm sure I'll gain more followers that like fitness.
Yeah, no, and it is this transition. So obviously we're going to continue to give out the tips and advice, but what you're going to get, for really nominal. I mean, it's not that much, we're talking 40-ish bucks, maybe a month. If you're non-member, then it might be $50 or something to that nature, 55. But at the end of it, it's more detailed. I mean, it's a structured program where you're going to get it delivered to you every single day in an app where it's got videos of pictures of the workout with tips and check-ins and, video. And so it's for the value, your ability to help reach and help people live a healthier, happier life with all of your tools, right? It's the mental, it's the funny, it's the you and the people that are gravitating towards you that you're going to dive into. So, and it's more of a total body workouts, right? And it's
it's more my philosophy. So my philosophy is upper body and then lower body, and then cardio and core, and then upper body, then lower body, cardio, core, and then rest day, of course, because you want your body to be able to rest. You don't want it working backwards. So every single day, I have a whole workout in there, whether it's in the club or whether it's, at any gym that you have, or if it's at home, whether you have dumbbells or you have no equipment at all, there's an option in there for you. And then I always give my tips and tricks, and I've added some articles in there and some nutrition guidelines and tips there too. So, I mean, I think it's great. I do it every single day. So, I mean, it's just how I work out though.
And it's the beautiful thing. And Lifetime really spearheading kind of this in the industry of saying, hey, you know what, you can now go reach your YMCA folks in Davenport with this content. They can go work out at the YMCA, they can go do their training, but they're looking at you and they're getting your program and they're communicating with you. And everybody's winning. They're getting healthier for a nominal price. You're reaching those people again and or others. So it's just an awesome thing.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I think, that's what I needed, just to, go through for my social media platforms. I mean, for them to be able to have an option, and, the link is right in the bio. I think it's really good.
Awesome.
Really good.
And did the program launched when?
It launched on Monday.
What day? It's the 10th. Yeah, I think it was the 10th, May 10th. Yeah. Sweet. So by the time this airs, it's going to be about a couple weeks old, maybe. But you can still have access. You could join whenever you want. And if you're a non-member, I believe it's a $15 a month virtual membership to Lifetime, and then the first month free, and then you start paying there then after. Yeah. So you can basically try it for $15 a month to begin with. And then the first month you get free. And then thereafter, is it $39 a month?
It's 35.
Okay.
35.
Yeah. So all in, then you're paying, roughly $50 some a month, and you're getting daily programming. Obviously you're going to pull your twist into the TikTok stuff. There's habits, there's mental health habits and meditation stuff. And, you could find that and you push that all in. That's all in, into the app. So that's fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, it's really cool. It is. It's really nice.
Anything else that you want to share with those folks out there that, we're still in a pandemic, and anything that you can add to that, to add value to them, to help them get through it?
So I've been able to help people on the mental side, because I'm laughing, they're laughing, but I know that it's really important for there to be also a physical side, and that's through working out and fitness. And when you marry those two together, then it just makes a better person for a longer period of time. And I think that's so important. Like they get off TikTok and they're done laughing, then they're back to their crappy life, and they're back to being sad. And I don't want that. Get into fitness, start lifting, start working out, and you'll be so much better off and you will love your life. I mean, I feel like working out is everything. I mean, it's made me everything. Like when the pandemic hit, I just laid in my bed. I didn't want to get up. I wasn't working out. I felt so bad. And I kind of almost felt depressed. I was just like, my husband had to wake me up even.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's never happened because I'm always like happy, but I felt that. And that was the first time that I'd ever not worked out. Working out is everything. Lifting and sweating and having a good workout session is everything. So
and even just the movement side, and I think you said it so perfectly, is, obviously mental health is more important than ever right now, and anything you could do to laugh and just get into a better mental state is great, but it's short-lived if we're not doing other things to help it. And, heck, even if it's just walking and you're monitoring and helping them walk and getting a little bit more active, like, it's about just putting it all together. And, I wish you the best with this program. And we hope that, you can reach even more people and help even more people, get through this. And really, what we say at Lifetime is live a healthier, happier life. So thank you so much. And you have been absolutely great. And I can't wait to meet you in person one day soon.
Yes, thanks so much for having me. It was a blast.